Black Critic Guy, and today I'm here to review the anime Durarara. And I gotta say, this anime is a blast. It's fun to watch, always entertaining, all these twists and turns. It's just an awesome anime. And also joining me in this review is my good friend Donwun, who is the creator of this podcast called Planet Tyro on spill.com. It's an excellent podcast. You guys go check it out. But here is our review of Durarara.
Yes, thank you man for having me on this episode. I'm coming all the way from spill.com, Planet Tyro, right here on the Black Anime Guide, anime movie reviews. Man, let's do this, man. Let me give you my opinion on Durarara.
So without giving anything away, the basic and simple plot of Durarara is it follows these various people as they go through these series of events in this small town known as Ikebukuro, and how they're all interconnected in many ways. So it was inevitable that I would go and watch Durarara. I mean, it's from the same guy who created Baccano, and everybody knows I really love Baccano. I gave it the highest score I could ever give anything, a 5 out of 5. And not only that, a bunch of my subscribers, all of you in there, have asked me to review this. Sadly, I didn't write any names down because I'm just that lazy. But yes, I finally watched it. And also, before I get into the review, it's kind of hard not to compare this to Durarara because there are so many elements that they both share in common, such as the creator, the structure of the storytelling, the style of the anime, including the opening sequence. They just share a lot of attributes that it makes it hard not to compare the two. And now the big question is, which one did I like better? We'll get to that.
Yeah, so in all honesty, upon watching this series, I had no idea that the Baccano guys had anything to do with this. But obviously, after watching a couple episodes, you get to, you know, the style of the storytelling, the characters, just the overall essence is obviously, you know, those guys. So, but the question for me personally was, does this live up to the predecessor Baccano? Or is this a failure?
First thing I want to mention, and this is going back to Baccano, the Baccano Easter eggs throughout this anime was a delight to see. For big fans of Baccano, you're gonna like fanboy out just like I did. Whenever you catch a glimpse of like a Baccano scene or like the word Baccano, you're just like, oh my god, that's so awesome. And just like Baccano, this anime has a very intricate story with a lot of twists and turns that keeps you compelled and wanting to see more and more as it unfolds. I mean, you want to see how this story connects to this story, how this character connects to this character, and every one of them is interconnected in some way, shape, or form. And I love that about the storytelling.
Now with the storytelling, the whole Pulp Fiction style of storytelling where you've got a bunch of characters in a certain area, different things happening at different times, involving different characters doing different things, is very fresh. And you know, Baccano did it first, to my recollection, anime anyway. With this anime, it builds upon what Baccano did, but in my opinion, it takes it even a little bit further. It's set in modern day Japan, which is more, you know, interesting, more relatable. That with the characterization brings a new, fresh take on a interesting style of storytelling. I think it's also the modern and fantasy themes in this series that makes it so fresh and kind of propels it in a different direction than Baccano. Because you've got, you know, urban legends, you've got social networking, you've got references to otaku culture in here, you've got bullying, murder, abduction. Man, so many interesting topics, subplots that deal with these different characters.
One plus that Durarara has against Baccano is that they have very interesting and more well-developed characters in this anime. Now, that's not to say that I don't think the characters in Baccano are interesting, compelling, or well-developed. They are interesting, compelling, and well-developed in their own way, but for me, I felt like the characters in Durarara were more well-developed than the characters in Baccano. You actually got more backstories, more character development, more characters like undertones and all that stuff in this anime than you did in Baccano. Especially on the three main characters of Mikado, Masayumi, and Anri. To me, these three characters had the strongest development in this entire series. You actually understood their internal struggle and you really related to them. But of the three that really kind of irritated me was Mikado, because by the end of the anime, I really don't think he really grew in his development. I think in one aspect, his relationship with the other two kind of developed like a little better, but his character himself, he never really changed. He was still the same, and that kind of ticked me off a bit. And the other standout characters of this anime is Isaiah, Shizuru, and Kohen. Now Kohen is more stable-minded of the characters, and he's the one with the moral code. He really stands up for justice and all things good. And as for Isaiah and Shizuru, they are without a doubt the two badasses in this anime. And whenever they brawled, man, they meant business and they went at it. They were awesome.
Characters are the driving force for the entertainment for me in this show. The characters range from mysterious to intriguing to supernatural. They're so different, and that is where the similarity from Bacano comes from. You can tell that, you know, these are the same guys because the characters have a way of interacting with each other that is fresh, but at the same time the characters don't feel like archetypes, they don't feel predictable. They do feel three-dimensional, and they do kind of cross into each other's paths in a very interesting way. And the thing I really liked about this show, at the beginning, is that, like Bacano, it doesn't start off as having the main character. You kind of bounce around the city with this character and then that character, and that makes it interesting. Everyone gets their own time to shine. It's only at the second half of the series that this doesn't work out, and there's a little bit of a disappointment for me, but I'll get into that later. A character I personally didn't really like that much, her name was Aniri. Didn't really feel for her. She was a bit too wishy-washy for me, even when something in the end kind of makes her character more interesting. Still didn't really like her character. I thought she was really the weakest link in the series.
But actually, the one thing that really pulled me into this anime, the one thing that I loved more than the action scenes and the intricate story, was the relationship between Celti and She-Ra. They have, without a doubt, the most dynamic relationship I've ever seen in an anime. And I don't want to give away any spoilers to how they have the most dynamic relationship. Just go watch the anime and you'll see what I mean. But I liked their relationship.
I'm gonna have to agree with what my man's about to say. It was already said at this point. Two characters that really shine out for me in this series are Celti and She-Ra. Celti and She-Ra are just great, man. That was just unique, one of the most unique couples I've ever seen in anime, period. And that storyline is interesting. Again, disappointed me where that ended up at the end of this series, but yeah, the characterization is great. The way the characters intermingle with each other. This is the shining point for this anime, man. The characters are very interesting.
The action scenes were captivating to watch, and the opening and ending themes are so catchy and so addicting that you just want to download them like instantly. The minute I heard the opening and ending theme, I downloaded them right away. That's how much I liked it.
The animation for Durarara is excellent, pretty good. I love the character designs. I love the action scenes, everything's fluid, the motion's good. Yeah, there's no lack of violence, which is always a good thing.
The voice acting, for the most part, was really good, and you got such a huge ensemble voice cast, and they're all really good. You got Steve Bloom, Yuri Lowenthal, Johnny Young Bosch, Crispin Freeman, all of them really good.
You've got the most popular English dub voice actors that my man Tony should have already mentioned by now. And there really isn't much I can say. The dub is great. There's some inconsistencies with some accents, and there might be a few hiccups here with some. The dialogue is okay. Sometimes it can be a little bit hokey, just a little bit. But overall, the English dub is fantastic. I love all the voice acting. I haven't seen it in the Japanese language, and even if I did, I couldn't really give you an opinion because I don't speak Japanese. But yeah, for the most part, I really did like the English dub. It was a pleasure to watch.
Now, sadly, although I really like Durarara, I did have a few problems, and this is where the scale between which one did I like more, Bakino or Durarara, is gonna tip.
Ah boy, and now I get to the most painful part, the things I didn't like about this show. Right, now what I have to say about Durarara is that it had all the ingredients for greatness. All the things there, you know, the storyline was great, the characters were good, the formula was good, the Pulp Fiction formula that worked in Bacano was here, but even better this time because it's set in a modern time with the urban legend elements, supernatural elements, the social networking, all that good shit in there to make this series good. What happened? What happened for me was after episode 13, the anime lost its way. It just veered off. All the build up, it was building up to a climax. It kind of put all the chips in one basket. It kind of let out all the reveal, and then for some reason it couldn't bring it home into a nice cohesive package. And to make matters even worse, it didn't end with a decent resolution for the majority of the characters. It ended on a whimper.
First, I want to get this one out of the way. Some of the voice acting was off. I did not like it. There was a cameo in this anime. I'm not going to say what it is, but the voice actor ruined the cameo altogether. I was just like, no, I don't like it. That's terrible. And thank you for ruining a great cameo. Also, when some of the voice actors try to do accents, the accents weren't believable. Like in Bakino, the accents were believable. You actually believe they were from the 1920s or they were from like Eastern Europe or something like that. In this one, it wasn't believable at all. It didn't sound, because there was one character, she was supposed to be from Italy. She didn't sound Italian. She sounded very annoying, sounded very nasally, but she didn't sound Italian. And there was this black Russian dude. He was a cool character, but why did he have to be Russian? Why did he have to have the, the Russian accent? He didn't need that at all. He could have just been a random black guy selling, giving out sushi cards and stuff, but no, he had to be a black Russian. Didn't make any sense, and it didn't work for the anime. At one point in the anime, some of the side characters and their stories became irrelevant and thus felt kind of pointless to have their stories or even have them in the series anymore, because their stories are over, they have nothing to do in the anime, they're kind of irrelevant and they're just like padding in this anime. That's how they felt to me. Speaking of side stories, one side story really stood out to me and I felt like it was very crucial for the anime, and that was dealing with Isaiah having the head of the Headless Horseman, and he was gonna use that as some way to awaken the head, and it just didn't come to fruition in this anime, and I found that very weird. Like, okay, you got the head, you said you were gonna use it for something, but by the end of the anime, he never really uses it. It just stays in his room and nobody knows about it, and it just felt kind of, what was the point? Where were you going with this? So sadly, in a world where you gotta weigh which one you like better, Bakino or Durarara, I gotta say I like Bakino a little smidgen more than I like Durarara, but not by too much, just by a teensy little bit. And Durarara is its own separate story from the Bakino story, so it doesn't really matter. They're their own standalone stories. Other people are gonna like Bakino more, some people are gonna like Durarara more.
If I had to compare this against Bakano wins, because Bakano had the formula, it had the chemistry, and it had the resolution. This has the formula, it has the chemistry, but maybe it just ran too long. Maybe 25, 26, 24 episodes is just too long for the series. I'm gonna have to give you a 3 out of 5. It's just an okay watch. For the Planet Tyro rating system, that would be a watchable. I'm sorry, Durarara, came close, man, but you let me down, and it hurts me to do this, people. I know you hate me right now, but I'm sorry. I gotta call it as I see it.
So overall, although it has some minor flaws, Bakino is still a captivating, compelling, interesting, and all-around entertaining anime to watch, with its intricate and intriguing story, relatable, lovable, and characters that you just can't keep your eyes off of, music that's catchy, action scenes that are entertaining, and animation that's solid, and solid voice acting as well. I'm gonna give this anime a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is a near perfect anime, and if you are a fan of Bakino, if you're a fan of storytelling like this, definitely go see Durarara. Go now! But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you like it a lot, or did you just find it dull and uninteresting? And let me know, which one did you like better, Bakino or Durarara? And also, let me know who is your favorite character in Durarara. Comment below. Let me know. I also want to thank my guest Donwun from Planet Tyro. You can check out his YouTube page. I'll put the link in the description. I'll also put a link to his page on spill.com where you can listen to all of his podcasts. I want to thank you, man, for being on my review. Hopefully, I can't wait to be on your podcast, man. It should be awesome and kick-ass.
Hey, man, so that's my take on Durarara. Disappointing, but you know what, man? Life moves on. There's more anime to watch. And I want to thank my man Tony for having me on this episode, man. I hope we get to collaborate more. You're going to see him on our podcast, Damn Right Everything Anime Manga Podcast, on spill.com, on Planet Tyro. And I want to thank you, the viewers, for listening. And before I go, I just want to let you guys know that there's a competition running that ends on the 30th, Friday the 30th of November, so you still got a couple days left from the launch of this video to win a whole $100 gift voucher worth of anime goodness. You see all that good anime stuff there, stuff like that, from Robert's Anime Corner store. There's going to be a link in the description to link so you can get all the information there. But again, I want to thank you for having me on, Tony. I hope I see you again. And who knows, man, next time we could be doing something even bigger, greater, grander, blah, 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 reviewing something even better.
And lastly, tune in this Thursday to the Final Cut, where we be discussing Hayao Miyazaki films, and we have a bunch of people coming in to discuss this. It's going to be a much longer show. I'm going to ask my friend Victor if I can make it a longer show. So till then, I'm the Black Critic Guy, bridging the gap between movies and anime reviews. Till then, peace, YouTube.